Well, it's just a beautiful way to shoot. I mean, you're in the water, you're suspended, and again, when you're shooting, you're trying to work in rhythm with the people you're photographing. So if they're diving down, you may dive down and rise up with them. Yeah, it's just, I don't know, I really love it. And even shooting, a lot of it I shot on the surface, in the surf and things like that. You just, after a couple of hours of shooting, you just come back, you're just so refreshed, and you know, it's just a great way to shoot. And obviously in the water, you've got a different way of moving than you would on land, and you just got to find it's like a dance of where you're moving, they're moving, but everything, you've got the water in between, but it's a, yeah, I love it. Why I photograph, probably like a lot of photographers, is photography gives me a way to engage in the world and make sense of my surroundings. And so as soon as I picked up a camera when I was 16, 17, it really motivated me to engage in the world and set forth and tell stories. So yeah, I started out wanting to explore the world, and then later on it became a way of expressing myself. My first big project was the Australians series, and I was shooting at the beach, and then I was looking at the culture away from the coast, the suburbs, and then I ended up in Arnhem Land. And even in Arnhem Land, I could really see the importance of water in that culture. A lot of the Indigenous art up there is about the water, and the identity of people is either brackish water or fresh water, and I could see how water is such a critical part of our life. Water's always been a very important part of my work, you know, as a sort of physical need or a psychological space. But I don't think I really realised it until I moved overseas, that how much I missed going into the water and how much that was a critical part of my life. I mean, when I'm back here, I swim every day, and for me it's like a secular baptism, you know, getting into the water, into that huge, vast privacy of the underwater world is really important. But yeah, it was only when I went away from the water that I realised how much it meant to me. And then I looked back at my work, my early work from around Australia, and I could see how much I've used it in my photography. So yeah, and then for the last two big projects, it's both of them been about water again. I mean, my work's sort of grounded in documentary style or photojournalism, but I've always believed that you're not just reporting. I feel like you bring something to the table, and I think the best photographs are the ones taken by people who are shooting with their heart and their mind, and they've got a point of view, and it's definitely something I've tried to nurture in myself, is that sense of distinct voice and vision. And I think that tension between realism and an artistic sort of vision creates a nice balance, and that's where I tell the better stories, is when both of those things are happening at one time. I mean, a lot of my work is about the environment, and I think our role in it and how we connect to it. And I think the heat, definitely over the last, when I started 4 or 5 years ago, we just had heat wave after heat wave, and I just really want to document that in an interesting way, just to show like the planet's heating up, and I just want to, just talk about our culture laid bare under that sun that's just getting ever hotter. One of the beautiful things for me about doing heat was that it was at my doorstep. I didn't have to get in the car. I didn't have to say, look, I need to go away for 3 weeks, and I had a daughter 6 years ago, so I could be present for her, which has been fantastic, and be able to go and do my own work. Generally, when I'm shooting around people, like I'm very much a part of the scene. Like I'm going down in my board shorts with a towel. I'm swimming. Often I have my daughter with me, or I'm really, you could say, embedded in the situation. It's like I don't want to be observing the other, because in a way that other is myself and my family, and yeah, and I just think people are more accepting of you when you're part of that scene. I just feel like when people are entering the ocean, there's a whole vastness, and you can see people under there just getting lost in their own selves. And you know, I really think the water reconnects people to themselves and to the environment. And when you're underwater, you can see that fluidity of that movement and the way people find a certain calmness. And a lot of the work that I've done underwater is that moment when they've been under and they've just resurfacing, and it's like that moment of grace or peace as they come back to the surface. I've always thought photography is like a key to other worlds, and you get to go and explore. But personally, photography has given me a voice to express myself and tell stories, and you know, it becomes such an essential part of who you are. Is nurturing that voice and expressing yourself. So photography, on some levels, has taken me around the world and got to see a lot of amazing things and report on some intense situations. But on an artistic level, that's been another journey as well, to continually challenge yourself and to clarify your voice. It's definitely been another journey.